myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Jeter ends his final game with a walk-off single.
Here's the drive to left. That one is long gone.
Welcome to the Long Gone Podcast. It is me, Michael, and with me as always, sending us into Christmas with some Jeff Kent, S-Man.
What up?
Steve Ford.
Going, man.
What's up, man?
Well, that's Jeff Kent, huh? Fucking turd.
Can't say it's my favorite Hall of Fame inductee.
I mean, he was great on Survivor. I don't know if you watched him there, but
Didn't.
you know, he did pretty well, actually. You know, those athletes, they for a lot of the time they do well. Although Jimmy Johnson on Survivor, that was fucking hilarious to watch, though.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that.
Yeah, well, good for you.
Yeah, good for you.
I don't watch much Survivor myself anymore, but we rattle off those Jeff Kent stats for you. All right,
here we
See
go.
if he hits any of those, checks any of those boxes that we always talk about. 290 average, 2,461 hits, 377 home runs, 1,518 runs batted in. Ding ding, because he did get over 1,500 RBIs. So,
Yep, that's a benchmark.
you know, 5-time All-Star, 1-time MVP when he was teammates with Barry Bonds. Surprisingly. Yeah, I wonder if Barry Bonds helped get him that MVP. I don't know, maybe.
They hated each other, I know that.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. And a 4-time Silver Slugger Award. I don't know about you, but that sniffs out Hall of Fame right there. First ballot in my book, right? Oh, wait. He never got voted in. It took till he got on the stupid Eras committee to get in. Good for you, Jeff Kent. All right.
Yeah, so it seems like Hall of Fame was scared not to have anybody in the Hall of Fame this year. I mean, because when you look at the regular ballot, because I think those are going to be announced, in January or something?
January, yeah. Yep.
So I think there's a very big possibility that there's not going to be anybody voted in on that. Maybe like an umpire, you know what I mean, an executive or something. But I think a lot of people I think the committee is scared. 16-member Hall of Fame board appointed. The contemporary ballot committee is consisted of Fergie Jenkins, Jim Catt, Juan Marichal, Tony Perez, Ozzie Smith, Alan Trammell, Robin Yount, Major League executives Marks Ananasio, Doug Melvin, Art Moreno, okay,
Sure,
Kim Ng, Tony Regans, and Terry Ryan. And then there's a couple historians / media members with Steve Hurt, Tyler Kepner, and of course we all know Jason Stark. So that's who voted him in. I think the good part about this was they kept Barry Bonds out.
They did. Yep, they kept the steroid people out again. So no Bonds, no Clemens. And I don't know when they're going to be up on another ballot. It's going to probably be, 2030, 2031 or something like that?
Yeah, 6 years before those guys can reappear. And I think they have once or twice. I might this next time in 6 years, I think it is, when they return to the ballot. If they don't get in, they're out permanently.
Wow. Okay.
So I think that's...
So Barry Bonds hates Jeff Kent even more than now after this past ballot. Huh?
Yeah. Well, I wonder, because see, I didn't really do a deep dive into when these rules of the Hall of Fame came out, because in the next 6 years, you're going to have a new wave of voters.
Yep.
So I think a lot of the steroid era people and players are hoping that A-Rod, Barry Bonds, those guys can get in with the new generation, because right now, the people I just read, that's part of the old generation, right? They're making sure to kind of passing the torch from one committee to the next. Like, we're keeping these dudes out. We're keeping the roiders out. Now, you have a lot of new media, like Ben Verlander last night. He was crying big time. And I like Ben Verlander, but he was crying big time. He goes, it's unfathomable to me that Barry Bonds isn't in the Hall of Fame. And it's like,
cheat.
You can't cheat, man. He goes, yeah, I understand. And a lot of people were saying, listen, that's why he's not in the Hall of Fame. He goes, yeah, I understand that. But he goes, look at all the people that are in the Hall of Fame who did roids. and a lot of people were named like Mike Piazza, Pudge Rodriguez, and and
They
there
were
was other
linked
guys.
to it, but they never actually tested or never got a positive test for it.
Exactly, and it's never been confirmed that they took it.
Yeah.
You might have heard from other players, oh, they've taken it, blah, 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 but nothing was ever confirmed. And yeah, if they did it, yeah, I'm against it, but I'm going with the facts presented in front of me.
Yep.
I mean, that's why I'm saying it's like, well, Barry Bonds was caught. So
Roger Clemens was caught. Alex Rodriguez was caught repeatedly.
And it sucks because there's some of the game's best players. I mean, if Barry Bonds didn't do what he did and still ended up having a good career, he could have still been one of the greatest baseball players to ever live.
Mm-hmm. I
But
agree.
now we're just kind of like, yeah, we got to keep you out. But look at Pete Rose is out, right? Not for steroids, but Pete Rose is out because of the gambling aspects. I mean, I think there has to be a precedence. And you and I don't love that Jeff Kent's in with these mediocre numbers, but I do respect the fact that they're at least letting people get in who didn't do steroids. That's my take on it.
Yep. Yeah. No, I'm completely there with you on that. Yeah. I mean, keep the roiders out. You got to put somebody in. So I guess if anyone, like you said, looking at the ballot of people that are on the ballot for this one, results in January, it's not looking too promising. So we gotta have something so you can have the ceremony, make some money. So Jeff Kent, come on down.
Come on down. Jeff Kent was a very good second baseman. You could argue maybe one of the best power hitting second basemen to ever play. A very good player indeed. Is he a Hall of Fame? No, I do love that he hits the bench. He won an MVP. He has the 1,500 RBIs. I can get behind that, right? I can get behind, okay, there's a benchmark there. He has one Hall of Fame stat that should ride, benchmark, and then he has an MVP. I can let that ride. But the fact that he didn't consistently do it through his whole career, that's why Mattingly's not in. Mattingly was good for a small, like in a short, like Mike Trout, a very good amount, like a short window. He was extremely good, the best in the game.
In the 80s, he was the best in the game at that point,
Yeah. And that's, but it has to exceed that. So it's going to be interesting going forward, Steve. I mean, with the Hall of Fame, I mean, you and I have been very vocal on this show ad nauseum. And I'm sure the people who listen to our show are tired of us talking about what's in. I mean, you and I will even mention in our Collector's Corner or other aspects, when we're like, nope, we'll talk about that player, but he doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame. We're constantly saying that.
Yep. Like I'll be making fun of someone at our birthday here at the end of the show that is a Hall of Famer. You got a real winner here, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Speaking of winners, losers, we're
losers.
Just about losers. We're just about balls deep. We're going to be balls deep pretty soon in the winter meetings.
Yeah.
The deal's taking place where you should have heard the rumors. Philadelphia Phillies, you and I got that right in our free agent predictions. They signed Kyle Schwarber, the Schwarbs.
The Schwarbs goes back home. Not really shocked there at all.
Do you like the deal? The 5-year 150?
Yeah. I mean, that's fine. I mean, it's what, 30 mil a season. That's what you're going to pay. His average came up this past year, which is good. But really, they're signing him for, his home run potential. He's going to get you 30, 40 home runs a season. I'm okay with paying, potentially, I think he's mostly just going to DH now. A guy that, just hits home runs and paying him $30 million. I'm cool with that. So
I think it's something that the Phillies started, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
They got to finish it with him.
Yep. They started this thing with him, ride it out. Hopefully it leads to a World Series for them. But it's the first step in bringing the band back together here in Philadelphia.
I think so. I think I was more clutching my chest when I heard the Pirates made him an offer.
Wait, whoa. I don't think I saw. Did they really?
Yeah, they made him an offer north of $100 million. So it was over $100 million. I don't think the years were there.
Okay. Do you think this is similar to their ownership trying to say, hey guys, we know how to spend, similar to what happens with the Tigers with Chris Ilitch? Hey, we put offers out like Alex Bregman, right? Yeah, we were out there.
We can't help that you didn't want to come here.
Yeah,
Even Mays.
That's what I'm thinking. Wow, Pirates made an offer. Okay.
Yeah, Pirates made an offer. I think they're going to have to show at least some try if you're going to want to keep Paul Skenes come contract year, right? I mean, he's going to be looking for the largest contract for a pitcher in MLB history. So yeah, you gotta at this point you really got to show that you want to put a winner together. Which, spoiler alert, we'll be talking about the Pirates maybe in a little bit. But the other aspect, when Diaz, I didn't see this coming.
I did not see that one.
Doesn't surprise me. Didn't see it coming.
Nope. No, the rich get richer, right, Mike? As the Dodgers go in and scoop up Edwin Diaz to bolster that bullpen. Was he getting paid $60 million? What's the years on
for
it?
69
$69 million. 3 years. Okay.
I don't know the options on it. I'm sure there's at least one, but I think that's a low risk for them in terms of,
for sure. And I think that's Edwin
years.
Diaz saying, all right, I already made an ass load of money off from the Mets. I want to go win a World Series now. And I think I have the best chance to get that World Series if I go to the Dodgers. And so, getting a contract, 3 years, $69 million, very affordable. And, he's still making decent money, but now he has a fantastic opportunity to win a World Series. So I can see why he'd want to do that.
Here's the interesting thing that I think not a lot of people are talking about. With Diaz signing, that basically takes Roki Sasaki right out of the bullpen and puts him back into the starting rotation. And I think I would rather have him as a closer at this point in his career. But I understand why
he had in the postseason. Yeah.
Right. I mean, he's really young, so you're taking the pressure off of him, But I don't know. I mean, I know they're looking for the Clayton Kershaw replacement. I mean, they already have Yamamoto. They got some really good arms in there, a lot of good young arms. But I don't know. I thought Roki was going to be kind of a possible solution for them in the bullpen.
The Dodgers thought otherwise, apparently.
Yeah. Well, they weren't on Mike's clock. They were on their own clock. Yeah. I mean, they know what they're doing. Back-to-back World Series.
Back-to-back World Series. Probably the winningest franchise in the last 10 years plus here, And they know what they're doing.
Did you see? So one thing I can't stand about this time of year are all the rumors that are mostly false. 90% are all false.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate how they have everybody to go into everybody. I mean, the Tigers literally last year had everybody going on their team.
Yes,
like I saw a tarik skubal rumor that the Dodgers are interested in getting him. One, that would be hilarious.
That would be.
Two, I don't think I'd want anybody in their farm team. I mean, it's like they're not going to give up somebody like Mookie Betts. They're not going to give up somebody like Freddie Freeman. I don't think I'd want Freddie Freeman. I mean, of course I'd want Mookie Betts, but at this point, they would just unload
his career.
Yeah. I mean, there's no future there.
No, not at all.
I don't think. But anyways, I saw like the trade packages of what a Dodgers deal to the Tigers would look like. It's pretty bad. I mean, it's like, hey, let's ship out all our top prospects, which they're compared to most MLB franchises. They're not top 10 material. They're not. No, there's a lot of bust potential there. I know.
Okay. Yeah.
I would not want to trade him to the Dodgers for
no. Yeah, well, I'd want to trade him too. Why don't you trade him to the Pirates? They team up with Paul Skenes, and we could take some of the Pirates prospects, right? Because they've shown they can draft well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I like it.
I know Scott Harris wants major league ready talent, I think, right now in return. So
yeah, I think you're going to go Tarik.
Pirates don't have much of that. So.
They don't, man. They don't. I mean, he wants ready guys, right? So a lot of teams are like the Mets make clearly the most sense with Ronald Acuna Jr.'s brother, Luis Angel Acuna. And I do like some of their prospects, but again, I'm not a big fan of how they develop their prospects with the Mets. I'm really not. I mean, Pete Alonso aside, and Brandon Nimmo and some of those guys, I'm not a big fan of some of the guys they brought up. And there's supposed to be a couple guys, Alvarez. There was a bunch of guys that were just huge potential, just never panned out. So they had to go free agency to do it. But I mean, that's not to say that it all sucks. I mean, I like what Norman McLean and some of those guys are coming up doing, but I don't know if I wanted to trade Tarik Skubal to somebody, it'd probably be the Red Sox, just because they have ready-made guys and they have a good prospect pool. But we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, That's the one thing you said about winter meetings. It's rumors galore here, so we shall see what happens here, and
Right.
most likely at the end of the day, we're not going to get anything. So it'll be business as usual.
Yeah, it'll be business. Yeah, bro. I mean, I just Harris. Yeah, I don't know. It's something you and I. Yeah.
Yeah. He talks in circles. I think he was on MLB Network or something this morning, and he wouldn't divulge any details of his plans or anything like that. And
which is smart.
And, which made me laugh when he said that he he thought his team this year had a really good chance to win the World Series, and then I chuckled. So
yeah, well, he's evaluating talent very much different. Yeah. He needs some bigger names, but I mean, you got to pull off some trades, kind of like what the Red Sox and Pittsburgh Pirates did. I really
with
Aviado,
yeah,
headed to the Red Sox. He could be a mid to back end rotation guy. Joins Garrett Crochet and some of those guys. I really like that trade, and I kind of
smart.
The headlining prospect in that was that Josh Nixon, Garcia.
Yeah.
They call him the password, which is weird.
Why is it? Because his name is so hard to pronounce? Or
I never thought of that. That is brilliant.
Because there's so many different letters in his name. I think that's why they call him
the
password. Yeah.
Did you just think of that at the top of your head?
I have his name up in front of me, and then when you said they call him the password, and I was like, I wonder if it's because his name has so many odd letter combinations in it that it's like a password that you could come up with when you're changing your password for Windows.
Dude, that's fucking brilliant. That's
right.
Yeah, I never even thought about that.
Dope nickname, I think. The password.
The password.
The password is.
Password is.
Yeah, I like this guy too.
I do too.
Really top level outfield prospect here. So.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good trade. It was a smart move by the Red Sox to bolster their pitching staff and get some help with with Crochet there. Who was runner up in the Cy Young voting. So get him some help there, and Oviedo I think can do it. Coming in, he had 9 starts this past season, 3.57 coming off of Tommy John surgery. Seems to be settling back in there nicely, and can definitely be, like you said, that mid to back end of the rotation guy to help Boston staff. I think it's a good move.
Yeah, I think so too. Catapults them if you're looking for to make any bets. I mean, when we talk about Bovada, I mean that's obviously going to catapult them a little bit more now, put them up in the odds, right? So
for sure, yeah,
shit like that makes sense. But this week, Steve and I once again take a stab at GM for a day. Last week we had good teams, right? I had the Cubs, you had the Yankees. I feel we made them very good. In the future, it'd be nice to kind of project where they would be with that lineup, with that roster. But this week we picked 2 shitbag teams that aren't looking too good. I picked mine, you picked yours, Steve. I'm not even going to intro your shitty team. You intro the shitty team.
Okay.
You tell me how they're getting to the finish line. There's one move I see that I'm very surprised you made. Not even a move. It's just who you put in your lineup, but who you didn't. But anyways, Steve,
okay,
take it away. GM for a day. What do you got?
I think I know what you're talking about because you're usually pretty high on this guy. I'm going with a team that expectations were kind of high going into this past season, coming off a very close playoff berth where they flushed it down the toilet, but decided to bring the band back together. And promptly by doing that, they continued to shit the bed mightily. And they ended up firing their manager after this. And that's the Minnesota Twins. New manager here is Derek Shelton. Now, it's a team that, like I said, we're very close to contending not only for the division, but also a playoff spot in the 2024 season. Fell short, big collapse. And then 2025 crapped even more, where I think they traded 12 players or something close to that at the deadline this past season.
Can you say rebuild?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
without
a major fire sale. Although they came out, the first thing that I found interesting coming out at the winter meetings, they said that they are not planning on trading any of their key players. The big 3 of Joe Ryan, Pablo Lopez, and Byron Buxton. Those 3 are sticking around. Personally, I think that's a really stupid move, but
Byron Buxton. What are you hanging on him for?
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go full rebuild, these are your big trade chips to try and get rid of. But if you're not going to do that, and I've been dealt this hand of keeping Buxton, Ryan, and Lopez, well, so be it then. So let's try and build around them. Now, if we've seen it in the past, Twins are a fairly cheap franchise. Yeah, they paid for, divvied up money for Carlos Correa that one time. But what happened to Carlos Correa? Oh, he got traded. They dump that stuff. So they're not keen usually on spending money. So they aren't going to make those flashy moves like a Kyle Tucker or big name contracts or things like that. They'll make the mid-market moves. So we talked about it in the free agent special. I said Victor Caratini would be a good fit there to fill a first base role with Ty France gone, and also back up Ryan Jeffers and do some catching. So I say I stick with that, and they sign Caratini. And then they also need bullpen help, as they've only made one bullpen signing so far in the offseason with Eric Ozzie. And they've traded away a whole assload of other bullpen help at the deadline last year. So I think they're going to promote from within. They're going to bring up some of their hotter pitching prospects that usually start, but kind of move them to the pen. And that'd be left-handed pitcher Kendry Rojas to do bullpen work, as well as left-handed pitcher Connor Prelip. Great name, by the way. Now, as people know, I like to bring the band back together a lot. I did it with the Phillies and Kyle Schwarber. I'm going to do it here with Max Kepler. I think that Max Kepler spent a bulk of his career, except for this past season with the Phillies. He's feeling a little homesick, so I think the Twins are going to sign him back and bring him back to kind of bolster and get some outfield depth there. Now, like I said, they're not going to make flashy signings when it comes to big names. So I think they're going to sign an aging Steven Matz for the starting pitching rotation, as well as getting some relief pitching help with Jordan Romano. So those are my moves there that I have the Twins doing here in the offseason. My final lineup looks something like this, which I think Michael is going to be a little bit surprised with a person I leave out the starting lineup, but you know what? This guy needs to stay healthy. You'll see why. Leading off for me is left fielder Austin Martin. Batting second is center fielder Byron Buxton. Batting third, hopefully stays healthy, is third baseman Royce Lewis. Batting fourth is catcher Ryan Jeffers. Batting fifth is first baseman Victor Caratini. And batting sixth is right fielder Max Kepler. Batting seventh is DH Trevor Larnach. Batting eighth is shortstop Ryan Fitzgerald, and who had a little bit of play this past season, getting a little bit older, so he'll get more of a starting role. And then batting ninth, second baseman Luke Keeschel. On my bench, I have infielder, play multiple positions. That's Brooks Lee. Also, utility player, can play some outfield and first base. That would be Cody Clemens. He's still there. And get it, Cody. Probably did a lot of first base last year, but can also do some outfield. Outfield, Matt Wallner. Outfield, Carson McCusker. And catcher / first baseman, Mickey Gasper. Now, my final rotation looks a little something like this. Leading off, I have Joe Ryan at the top of your staff. And then you got Bailey Ober, Steven Matz. Still got Pablo Lopez, who they're not going to trade. And then Mike's favorite pitcher, Simeon Woods Richardson.
Yeah.
Rounding out the rotation. In the bullpen, we got Cole Sands, Eric Ozzie, which I said was their one signing that they've made so far, Kendry Rojas, Connor Prelip, and Jordan Romano, another free agent signing, with closer Justin Atopa. Hopefully these moves get the Twins out of fighting with the White Sox for last place. So that's my moves on the dumpster fire that is the Minnesota Twins.
Well, I like what you did in terms of giving a lot of younger players time. I mean, this is a classic classic rebuild lineup. This is kind of what you come out with. Let's play the prospects now.
Right.
Sprinkle in some low risk, potentially high reward free agents.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind it. I mean, I don't mind it at all. Max Kepler, veteran in the locker room now, right? Yeah. And you're just hoping that Royce Lewis stays healthy and Byron Buxton. Remember, this year coming up is Byron Buxton's an every other year guy. He had a great year last year. This is the year he's not.
Time for him to get injured again, right?
Right. You know me on Austin Martin. I think Austin Martin. They need to keep starting him. I think he's going to be very good, even if he doesn't crack the the opening day as a starter, I still think he's a valuable utility guy because he can play infield and outfield.
Yep.
Keyshaw, I think, is going to end up being the starter of the lineup because I thought he had kind of up and down, some highs, some lows, but I mean that's a future. I mean, was one of their top prospects. I can see him working his way. The big one, yeah, I'm surprised Brooks Lee.
I'm sorry, he's riding the pine.
Yeah, hey, yeah. I mean, former top prospect. He was really having a hard time hitting last year. Kind of like a Colt Keith, but worse, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree.
I think they pulled him up too soon.
I think so too. Yeah.
I think this was a team that was desperate to win with the Carlos Correa contract they put in there.
Right. Yep.
Right. Yeah.
So if we're looking, one more before we move it over to you. If you're looking on Bovada at World Series odds here for the Minnesota Twins, well, they're not looking too promising, Mike. They currently have not so bad. They're near the bottom. It's a plus 8,000 to win it all. So people like my moves, want to place a bet on the Twins, go for it. Have at it, guys.
Well, Derek Shelton's the coach, the manager, which it's such a lateral move, especially coming off of Rocco Baldelli, a guy that really had no experience. But then you get Derek Shelton, who has experience, but not like great, right? I mean, he's never been a winner. So to me, this is exactly what the Detroit Tigers did when they moved on from Osmus to get Ron Gardenhire.
Yep.
Right. They ended up going because Osmus was supposed to be the brainchild, the young coach that was going to
analytics
from Leland, and it just didn't work out. So they're like, okay, we're going to rebuild a little bit, and Ron's going to be kind of the stopgap guy. He's going to be the middle guy. And to me, I think this is exactly what the Twins are going to do. And your moves taking that makes perfect sense. Steven Matz, right? Low risk, high reward guy, doesn't cost a lot of money. You're kind of obligated to keep Pablo Lopez because of the contract. Joe Ryan, I mean, depending on where you sit during the trade deadline, if you come off that stance that you're going to trade some of your foundational. Yeah. So good. I like it. I think this is a team that could compete, but I think ultimately they're going to sell at the trade deadline.
I think so too. And I think they're going to change their stance on their big three.
I think so too.
Especially Buxton bucks the trend, so to speak. Actually is having back-to-back good years.
You mean when he doesn't buck the trend and when he bucks the awesome wagon, I don't know, and then fucking starts sucking, because this is his off year. This is supposed to be his off year.
It is this time. Yep. I was going to say another dumpster fire. What do we got?
My dumpster fire, who we talked about a lot of the show, is the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm going to take them on. I think I've done GM for a day for them in the past, but I kind of look back, and we haven't done it in a while. I can't remember if I ever picked them, but I'll give it a shot. I picked the Pittsburgh Pirates. I mean, they're always very low on Bovada with betting. Anytime Paul Skenes is pitching, obviously the odds are dramatically lessened, right? So, it makes it so much more towards the Pittsburgh Pirates' favor. But anytime he isn't pitching, it's like a shit show. So I think the best move they did right out of the gate that the Twins didn't. The Twins said, fuck it, we're going to have the stopgap guy in Derek Shelton. The Pirates say, we're going to take a guy that everybody loves in the locker room, is Don Kelly, right? I thought...
I love that move.
Interim coach, interim manager, took over when Shelton got fired, and he's stuck because he's a locker room guy. I mean, he was with AJ Hinch with the Astros. He was destined to take over his own team, and now he gets his chance. I'm super excited for him. He's a guy low on the radar of a lot of people. I think he could do something, and let's hope with
I agree.
The team I give him as a GM, maybe, I mean, he could have done it, but we'll see what they do with their actual team. But what I did in our fantasy world of GMs is I traded their number 9 prospect in Rafael Flores. Trading Jack Sawinski off, a guy that can get some power. He's kind of like a poor man's Kerry Carpenter, which says a lot. Also trading Edward Florentino, their number 5 prospect, and Mitch Keller. Mitch Keller actually had one of his best years last year with Pittsburgh. He finally figured it out, but I think you need him to be possibly the center of a trade coming in. So Number 9, Flores, Jack Sawinski. Number 5, Florentino, and Mitch Keller, who's in their their mid rotation for the Guardians' star outfielder, Stephen Kwan.
Ooh,
I'm going for it. I can't believe this dude's I can't believe this guy's even in trade discussions. Like, why would you trade this? But the fact that he's out there, I'm going to go for it.
Last year,
it's so crazy. Dumb. This guy's a cornerstone. I mean, the guy's he's a hitting machine. I've seen him single-handedly back-to-back years take over for the Guardians hitting, like their only hitter, right? So the guy's just a big game hitter. He's a hitability guy. I said, fuck it. A guy that we haven't put in our free agent watch list, but a guy that we should look out for who doesn't get talked about as much anymore, and I think it's because his age, is Adolis Garcia. They're going to they need to influx some more power in their lineup, and the reason I'll say why in a minute. But going forward, also going to sign Merrill Kelly. I don't think I'm going to keep him as a starter, just FYI.
Okay.
I think I might throw him in the bullpen eventually. He'll start the year in my rotation, but I'll get to that in a minute as well. So sign Merrill Kelly. Sign Jacob Junis, another guy who, when he was with the Giants, had starter potential. They found he's more of a pen guy. That's where he's had most of his success, and that's keeping him in the big. So we're going to keep Jacob Junis. We're going to sign him, low contract, but I think he'd sign just to get a shot at being one of our main relievers. So I'm going to move prospects Hunter Barco, former Florida pitcher, and Thomas Harrington to the pen. They were up in our September call-ups last year with Pittsburgh, did pretty well. Even though the stats don't show it, I actually seen a lot of good from them. So I'm going to keep them up permanently for right now. I'm going to re-sign Caleb Ferguson, former Mariners reliever turned Pirates reliever last year. I think they need to re-sign him. They're going to bring up Wilbur Dodal, another good pitcher in their farm system. And then they're going to keep Nick York. And obviously, Nick York, another top prospect that they got last year. And they're going to keep Garcia, the password. They're going to keep him. We talked about him earlier. Yeah, they're going to keep Garcia up there because you don't trade for a guy like that and just stuff him in the minors. He's ready to go. I love his hit ability more than his power at this time. I love his power more than his hit ability at this time, but we'll see. I think he just needs to be more of a consistent hitter, but the power is there. And saying that, my lineup, I'm stacking more towards hit. We're going to play small ball. I think Don is a big fan of small ball, Steve. We're going to do small ball with the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's going to be their way to win, is going to be small ball for the future. And that's how you do it. And then you complement that with some power pieces, but small ball is how you get on the base and score your runs. Taking that into effect, Steve. Our number 1, playing left field, Stephen Kwan, who we traded for. He will be leading off for the Pirates in the 26th season. O'Neal Cruz coming back at shortstop. Steve, I couldn't find a shortstop in the free agent market to really sign. I don't like any of the trade candidates out there. They're not even in the wheelhouse of what Bo Bichette would want for money. So O'Neal Cruz is going to move back to shortstop. I know that leaves a hole in center field, but I'll tell you who I'm gonna plug that with. O'Neal Cruz, a lot of potential, big strikeout candidate, a lot of power. He needs to hone in. He needs to become a more mature hitter at the plate. But I think putting him in the 2 spot, he'll see some good pitches. There's not going to be a ton of pressure on him because you do have a guy coming up that I think will, if at least Stephen Kwan gets on, can bring him in. Right. But O'Neal Cruz is there for the taking. So Stephen Kwan leading off left field, shortstop. O'Neal Cruz third in the lineup, playing third base from the KBO, from the Korean Professional League. Sung Mun Song. He's on the market. He's going to sign with somebody, and I think the Pirates should give a stab at him. They've signed Korean players in the past. This guy has a lot of power. Another guy that's more hit ability or more power than hit ability, but I really do like what this guy as the dish does. I think he's going to start out slow like Yoshida and Seiya Suzuki did. Yeah. And another former Korean guy, Jung-Hoo Lee, started off a little slow, got hot, cooled off, then they figured it out and just started doing it, right? And I think that's where Song's going to come in, play third base. They had a hole at third base. I think he comes in and fills an instant need. In the power position, cleanup, Adolis Garcia, DH. Don't even put this guy in the field anymore. I don't hate him in the outfield, but his bat's obviously more valuable. Need a DH. You sign him, put him in the 4 spot. Number 5, the rookie, The password, Garcia, playing center field. He can play left, right, and center. He's an average to above average fielder. I'd rather put corner, but I don't love our options, right? And I didn't want to re-sign Andrew McCutchen because he's too old to play center field, in my opinion. I know you like that veteran leader. We all love the veteran leadership in the clubhouse, but I just don't think it matters at this point. Now you got to put together a winning franchise. You're basically got to put together something to show to Paul Skenes you give a shit. So I hate saying that because I feel like it's not about one player, but in this case, the Pirates need to do everything they can to keep their best players. So Garcia playing center field, batting the power position, batting leadoff, batting on the 5 spot. 6 spot, I'm sorry, Brian Reynolds took a big demotion in Pittsburgh's lineup.
Agreed.
Yeah, he might have got the most RBIs from last year. He might be their best hitter, but it wasn't a good hitting year for him. He could have did so much better, and especially for what he's being paid. But it's okay. This lineup is built towards more hitability than power, so I'm throwing Brian Reynolds in right field. Another guy that I didn't mention in the moves, which I should have, is signing Luis Arraez. Listen, that's a move that I think they need to make, and another hitability guy. With having 2 of the better hitability guys in the league with Stephen Kwan and Luis Arraez, you're going to get the table set. That's why I put him near the end of the lineup and Stephen Kwan at the beginning of the lineup. You're going to have guys that know how to get on base consistently. And I don't love Luis Arraez as a fielder on anything, second base, first, any of that. But right now, I don't want to put Spencer Horwitz there because I need more of a hitability guy. So I'm going to put Luis Arraez at first base where he's used to playing first base. In the 8th spot, Henry Davis. He used to be the number 1 pick a few years back. I think this is his breakout year. I think you're going to see him break out, and I think he's going to I think he's got to prove to people why he was drafted number 1 not too long ago by the Pittsburgh Pirates, and I really like him at catcher. And Nick Gonzalez will be your second base, batting 9th. From top to bottom, this is a hitability lineup. You have good hitters stacked on the end of the lineup and at the beginning of the lineup. I think the biggest question mark is in the middle. What are we going to get from the password? What are we going to get from Adolis, right? Both of the Garcia, 4 and 5. What are you going to get with them? And then Sung Song. I mean, it might be rough to begin with that, but I think it will work in the long run. And the bench, Steve, coming up with youngsters, Nick York, who's going to be a utility guy, Andy Rodriguez, who can play infield, but he's kind of a big-time catcher. Used to be a top prospect catcher. Coming back from injury, Andy Rodriguez will be very good backing up Henry Davis. Spencer Horwitz is going to see himself on the bench, but had a really decent year last year. Kind of a Rhys Hoskins emergence, when Rhys Hoskins was young. I think he'll continue to do that once he gets prime at bats when people are taking days off. Jared Triolo will be another infielder on the bench, and Joey Bart, who might crack the roster. That big disappointment with the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's gonna be like that.
Yeah, catcher, first base. And then final rotation, Paul Skenes, Jared Jones back from injury. Paul Skenes and him are really good friends, and I know Skenes is happy to have him back. He'll be number 2 behind Skenes. I already traded Mitch Keller, so he'll be gone. I'm going to go with Bubba Chandler and Merrill Kelly. So, and then in the 5 spot, I'm going to throw in Hunter Barco with... I would love to have a 4-man rotation. I was actually flirting with that, and I still might stick with that. I know not a lot of teams are doing that, but I want Paul Skenes to pitch as much as possible, especially if you're not going to use him in the long run. Then if you're not use him
as much as you can.
Use him as much as you can now, and then if you're going to trade him for a haul, then do it. Or if he's going to walk in free agency, then let him pitch every 4th day, because I think your chances of winning are a lot good if you at least win once every 4 days. So, Paul Skenes, Jared Jones, Bubba Chandler is going to be a rookie. The guy's actually a 2-way player. I would try him at that, but I know most of the minor leagues he was a pitcher, so they're going to do that. I love Bubba Chandler, big, tall pitcher. Really like what he brings, top prospect guy. And then Merrill Kelly in the 4th spot. And then 5, Hunter Barco. But for now, I think I'm going to stick with the 4-man rotation. I talked myself into it there.
Okay.
Hunter Barco in the pen then. Thomas Harrington, another rookie in the pen. Jacob Junis, the guy you sign in free agency, in the pen. Carmen Maldzinski, who comes back this year with the Pirates. Caleb Ferguson, he re-signed. And Wilbur Dodal, another top prospect for the Pirates, coming in their pen. It's going to be a young pen. So Jacob Junis and Moldinsky and Caleb Ferguson are really going to have to lead these guys, Steve. And then closer, who I was most impressed with out of all their pitching, aside from Paul Skenes, Dennis Santana. Really liked him as a closer. He's going to return in that spot for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Waiting in the wings, I just have to say it real quick. Jack Brannigan, he is an infielder, kind of a really Trey Sweeney type of player. He'll come up if there's any injuries. Marco Luciano, if you remember Marco Luciano, former top prospect for the Giants, just like Joey Bart was, didn't pan out. So the Pirates are taking the Giants scraps. They signed him. They took a waiver on him, so he's going to start in the minors. And then Terramar Johnson, their number 1 prospect. I'm sorry, their number 5 prospect. They drafted him in the first round a few years back. He might come up this year or next year, but definitely will be a September call-up. And a guy that is the top prospect in all of baseball, which it shouldn't be because Kevin McGonigal should be. Connor Griffin, shortstop outfield, Steve. Destined to come in 2027 season, but might be a September call-up 2026. He's waiting in the wings. But that is my Pittsburgh team.
Destined to come up, do good, and then be shipped. It's the Pittsburgh Pirates way. I like this, man, especially the Stephen Kwan move. I mean, Stephen Kwan just at the top of anyone's order, I think, can just do massive damage. Just ask the Detroit Tigers on that.
Yes, sir.
I like these moves. I like the sneaky Merrill Kelly move right there.
I do too.
As well as Jacob Junis, and I like the idea of going small ball. Don't want to go with the power. And small balls will right up Don Kelly's alley. I think just the way that he manages and the way that he was always that small ball type guy when he played. So I like this. This looks good. Let's give you the job right now. Kick the front off the curb.
And I think, Steve, this is a thing. The moves you and I made with our teams could actually happen. I'm not saying it will happen, and it probably won't, but it's not so far out. We should
do one where we're just like, all right, we're going to trade for Shohei Ohtani, all right, and we're going to sign. Juan Soto, huh? Yeah, it's going to be a dream team in Cincinnati.
Yeah, bro. Yes, Cincinnati.
Let's be realistic here.
But
right?
Both shitbag teams, both trying to come up, Steve, and I really like what each of us did and where we're trying to get our teams across. And mine's built to, like I said, to show that you want to win and give a fuck to Paul Skenes, and yours is built kind of the layover before the big signings, right? So kind of a 2020-21 Tigers kind of set.
Yep, for sure. Well, we shall see if how these pan out with that. Shall we head on over to Collection Corner?
Let's do it.
All right. Yeah. Ready to ride the next big hobby wave? Market Movers puts the entire sports card and TCG market right in your hands, with pricing on over 7 million cards powered by real sales data from every major marketplace, including eBay, Fanatics Collect, Golden, Heritage, and more. Track your collection on mobile or desktop, instantly see value and P&L by sport, year, player, set, or grade, compare any cards side by side, monitor live price swings to spot trends early, uncover underpriced deals, and set custom alerts so you never miss a move. With Market Movers, you turn market data into smarter buys, bigger profits, and a stronger collection. Sign up today and try it risk-free for 14 days. Plus, 20% off for life with promo code GONE20 at marketmoversapp.com. Well, come to that week again. I think you'll be able to get my card, though. It should be
okay.
Should be fairly simple, I think.
Okay.
Let me just pull up my stats on this guy. Actually, I probably could just say one nickname and you can get it, but I won't do that. It's the guy we talked about here in the past on our show.
Okay.
It's one of those where he is a Hall of Famer.
That narrows it down.
He's most likely in the Hall of Fame because of his glove. Because you look at his offensive categories and you're like, man, offensive category below doesn't check any of the boxes. Like even Jeff Kent's offensive category or statistics look better than this guy. But spent his career with 2 teams. I won't mention those teams quite yet, but he's a 15-time All-Star. He is a World Series champion in 1982. He did win the World Series. NLCS MVP in 1985. Like I said, Hall of Fame because of his glove. 13-time Gold Glove Award winner, and he did those all in consecutive seasons between 1980 and 1992. Surprisingly, he did win a Silver Slugger Award in 1987. Roberto Clemente Award winner in 1995. Going back to his early years, born in Mobile, Alabama. He was originally he was selected by the Detroit Tigers, but decided not to sign with the Detroit Tigers and ended up going to going to play some college ball here instead. He was drafted though by the San Diego Padres, where he made his debut in 1978, and then was traded over to the St. Louis Cardinals. Very smart move on their part. Really loved his mutton chops that he had in San Diego too. And his home run though in the National League Championship Series had the Jack Buck "Go crazy, folks, go crazy" line with it. So
yeah,
I'm sure you know who I'm talking about here.
Yeah, Sarah showed us the card that he has of him. We were like, yeah, we have it. Ozzie Smith, the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, it is the Wizard.
When you said Ozzie good glove, but his offensive number sucks, I knew right away who you were talking about. I could have guessed it right.
Yeah, let me just read these offensive numbers because this is not how he got in the Hall of Fame. 262 career batting average, 2,460 career hits, 28 home runs, 793 runs batted in. All right. Using the Market Movers app, I threw this particular card in the mix. Is 1983 Topps Ozzie Smith. Going right now, the last sale on it was for $1.99, so it doesn't go for really big bucks, but still a cool looking card nonetheless. So
definitely a good card. Card you and I talked about a few times in the show. We definitely mentioned him, but yeah, you and I have had real conversations whether we think Ozzie Smith belongs in the Hall of Fame, and it's like such a one-sided player, dude.
It really is. It's unbelievable. Great defense, not much with the offense. So, yeah. Who do you got for me?
Okay, Steve. So I dug in my Market Movers app in my collection, and I was like, who is old Mikey going to take here? This guy, actually, this guy that does belong in the Hall of Fame, but not for his glove because he had a pretty shitty glove. Okay. A 6-time All-Star, NL MVP, NL Rookie of the Year, San Francisco, which is a huge fucking clue, retired his number, and he's in their Hall of Fame, as well as the National Baseball Hall of Fame, where he went in 1986 in the first ballot with 81.4% of the vote.
Okay.
270 batting average, 2,211 hits, 521 home runs, 1,555 RBIs. Since this one for our boy 374 OBP, 889 OPS. Throws and bats left. He had a line drive batting style, which, just rips screamers into the outfield. What else can I say about my boy here? He also... let's see. He also one of the few Hall of Famers who wasn't drafted, instead tried out for the New York Giants in 1955 and later was signed to a minor league deal by them. He made his professional debut, his major league debut with the Giants in 1959, so 4 years later. He rivaled at first base with future Hall of Famer Orlando Cepeda, even though he won the role. He would later be moved to the outfield. It was once joked he was such a bad fielder, he might as well not bring a glove to play outfield in just a blindfold and cigarette. Sparky Anderson once said of this guy, "I walked him so many times, he could have walked to the moon on all those walks." His bat was so lethal in his prime, he was intentionally walked an all-time record 45 times in 1969, shattering the previous record by a dozen. This remained the major league mark for 33 years until it was broken by fellow Giant Barry Bonds. Who am I guessing? Who am I saying? Who's my card?
Man, is it Willie McCovey?
It is Willie McCovey.
Nice.
When you think of power hitters in the Giants,
dude,
franchise all
Right at
time.
the
I mean,
top.
he's top 5, right?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. Nice.
Yeah, I went ahead in the Market Movers app and picked a 1971 Topps Willie McCovey, number 50. The PSA 7, which I have, it goes between, well, it's $65. That's kind of like a flat for it. And in the last year, there's about 27 sold in the last year, and it's up 8.7% currently.
Wow.
Yes,
And just circling back, I mean, with the power that he had, looking at the 62 World Series between the Giants and the Yankees, it was it Game 7 with 2 outs? The Giants were trailing by 1, and 2 men on, and McCovey hit a line drive where if it just would have dropped, the Giants would have won the World Series. Instead, it was snagged by second baseman Bobby Richardson, and that ended the series. Yeah, dude, he smacked the hell out of that ball.
Had to hurt the dude's hand, dude.
Just right at a player, though. That's the bitch of it.
Yeah, guy's biting his lip.
Yeah. With that, shall we get the candles out and celebrate a birthday?
Do it.
All right. Well, this guy played so long ago. It's been very hard to find a card of him, especially since he shares a name with another baseball player right now. So I'm just going to go with a negative of a picture of him here. It's negative. Yeah, negative. I'll send you this later. It's D416 out of the Jim Rowe archives. Has a picture of this guy, and it's a happy heavenly birthday to baseball great, because he really didn't play for many teams long enough to make a lasting impact, and Hall of Famer Joe Kelly. Not the Joe Kelly that's pitching right now. Born on this is a different Joe Kelly. Born on December 9th of 1871. Because if he was still playing right now, he'd be really old.
Yeah, he would be.
Let me read you these Hall of Fame statistics here for you. All right, so you can rattle these off. See if it's similar to Jeff Kent. 317 batting average. All right, he checks that box. That's great. 2,220 hits. Nope. 68 home runs. 1,194 runs batted in. And 443 stolen bases. And only 338 managerial victories. Anyway, he, as a player, played for the Boston Beaneaters, the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Baltimore Orioles, the Brooklyn Superbass, the Baltimore Orioles, Cincinnati Reds, and the Boston Doves. As a manager, he managed the Cincinnati Reds from 1902 to 1905, and then the Boston Doves in 1908. So basically, by the time he was retired as a player and a manager, they really weren't even making cards, that many yet. So hence, there's not really any cards in existence of him. He's inducted in the Hall of Fame in 1971 via, you guessed it, Mike, the Veterans Committee.
Damn it.
So I'm guessing if you looked on Bovada each year, if they were doing some big gambling back in those days, he would not be up at the MVP talks that much.
Probably
based
wouldn't
on,
be.
Statistics. But was a really solid hitter when it comes to average. So a little trivia on him: over his 17 seasons in his MLB career, Kelly had a 317 batting average and batted over 311 consecutive seasons. Hall of Fame? Nope. So there you go. It's a happy heavenly birthday to Joe Kelly.
And he played for the Bean Flickers, the first team he played for?
Played for the Bean Flickers, then they ate him afterwards. So
nice.
Yeah, so there you go.
Well, happy birthday, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. Enjoy that Hall of Fame. Wasn't even alive when it happened. I think he passed away in the 1940s, so he wasn't even there for his induction. So
that's always a bummer when guys pass and they're out there.
Yeah, well, he shouldn't have made it anyway, so
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, Steve, that's a fucking show.
Good show, man.
Good show indeed.
Here we are. We're gonna, when we meet again next week, we're gonna probably talk winter meeting wrap up, because we're balls deep in that right now. So
will that won't be our final show before?
No, we got we'll record again here. So we'll do 2 more shows. So we'll have one more next week, and then another one the week after, right before Christmas.
Right before old Christmas.
And then we'll take a week off.
Nice. Well, by this time next week, we're probably going to be talking even more. Yeah, more free agent deals.
Heard the rumors.
Yeah, so like I said, it's one thing I hate about the off season, and it's a slow off season, and it used to be fast. It used to be people signed Even the winter meetings have been boring in recent years. Like I said, the Schwarber deal wasn't exciting. Edwin Diaz is a little exciting, but yeah.
Well, there you go. Yeah. I win
But-
some, you lose some.
Yeah, you win some, you lose some. Should have heard the room.
Yeah. Hanging with the fellas.
In the meantime, guys, have a great week. Thanks for listening. Be a bud, tell a bud. And we will catch you guys, see you guys, meet you guys next week.
Deuces.